Some Brianna Pitts. It's fall, and with the weather getting colder, it is always a good time to head out and find some tasty, cozy treats at your favorite restaurants. Chris Tanaka had the chance to try a Hawaiian-inspired dish from the Brookline restaurant, Esmai.
Hey, we're welcoming Chef Mai Tran to the studio from Esmai's restaurant in Brookline, right in Coolidge Corner. You're already cooking. Thank you for being here. What do we got?
Thank you for having me, Chris. So today we're preparing Loco Moco. I'm sure you're very familiar with this. It's Hawaiian hamburger. It has some spam, fried egg, jasmine rice, macaroni salad, and beef gravy.
This is like the official breakfast, lunch, and dinner from Hawaii.
Yes.
And you have an incredible story because, Chef Mai, you were born and raised in Boston, but you have been around the world. Where have some of the places you've been, studied, and worked in the industry?
Well, my first culinary job, real culinary job, was in Hawaii. I was there for about a year. I worked at Mala and Io in Lahaina.
Yeah, in Lahaina. And sadly, I think Io burned down in the
Unfortunately.
In the fires, but Mala is still there.
Yes, Mala and Tavern.
Obviously, you're bringing back the influence there, but Esmai's in Coolidge Corner, you describe as Euro-Asian.
Euro-Asian.
Yeah. What's that?
So Euro-Asian, I base it off of all of my travels because I worked in Europe, in France, so I just wanted to mesh the two together. So for instance, we would have bulgogi empanadas or Vietnamese bò called pappardelle.
Oh my gosh, incredible.
Thank you.
All right, so this is cooking. The hamburger itself, is there a special mix? What makes this special sauce here? If people at home want to create a Loco Moco for themselves, what do they start with?
So you start with ground beef, garlic powder, ketchup, and my secret ingredient are special caramelized onions.
Really? Right into the mixture?
Right into the mixture.
Okay, and I will sing that I will die on the hill of using Japanese sushi rice for everything.
Yes.
But that's the gotta have it right here, right?
Correct.
And people at home, if you're cooking rice, Japanese rice is the way to go. And get yourself a rice cooker because all it is like rice, water, one button, bang. And then 20 minutes later, you have the best rice going. The fried egg is a key component to the Loco Moco.
Correct.
And that's going to go right on top?
Right on top.
Fantastic. And what about this gravy?
So this gravy, I sauteed onions, mushrooms, and then I added some flour to make it thicken up, and beef broth.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I can't wait to see the finished product here. We can let this continue to cook. You've also put another Hawaiian staple with it on your side, mac salad.
Mac salad and Spam.
Spam, yeah. You got to have all the food groups represented.
Correct.
And this is the variety of the menu. I looked it over, and you've got some serious stuff going on, but I feel like it's all very approachable.
It is. We also have a kids menu.
Yeah, that's big, especially in Coolidge Corner, right?
Especially in Coolidge Corner.
Yeah.
And if anyone ever wants to take a break, I'm more than happy to hold their baby.
And Esmai's is the name of your daughter, correct?
2-year-old daughter, correct.
Oh my gosh. First child?
She's my second child.
Second child. Oh my gosh, that's great. You might have some jealousy though when they suddenly realize that
I'll leave her at home.
What was, when you came up with the concept, what was the motivation to bring this Euro-Asian theme to Coolidge Corner?
So whenever I traveled or went to school, I was always alone and I was by myself. So now that there's a restaurant, I wanted to share my experiences through flavor.
And really, in many ways, culture starts with food.
It is.
And so if you're a child of the world, as you are, what better way? Oh my gosh, all right, I can't wait. This is like this is the lava on top of the food volcano. This is incredible. Our floor director, Eric, is chuckling at me, but you know what? I don't think it's inaccurate. And the piece de resistance is going to be that egg right on top.
It's a whole sauce on its own.
It really is. Look at that. Beautiful. On the menu?
On the menu.
And what are your hours?
We open for lunch at 11 a.m. and then dinner is at 5 p.m.
Okay, 11 a.m. for lunch, dinner at 5. Loco Moco is on the...
Both menu.
It has to be, right?
It has to be.
Fantastic. All right. Do we get to sample this?
Of course.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay.
All right. This is amazing because the part of the Loco Moco experience, and I don't know if we can get a camera on that, is actually that moment when you kind of dig in and break the egg and you get that runniness with the gravy and that patty and the rice of it all. Oh my gosh, I got to make sure I get some of the
I'm
burr.
so excited for you. It's like home.
It really is. Here we go. As they say in Hawaii, broke the mouth. Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Chef Mai, this is absolutely delicious, approachable food, food of the world, in your own backyard, and you can bring the kids.
Right in Brookline.
Unbelievable. All right. Chef Mai Tran, thank you so much. This is Esmai's right in Coolidge Corner. Delicious stuff.
Well, Halloween is over, but now there is a ton of candy to be eaten by little ghosts and goblins, and that can do some serious damage to the teeth. So we sat down with the dentist to figure out the best way to tackle sugar and keep your beautiful smile. We have Dr. Anna Berik of Newton Dental Associates here with us. Doctor, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Oh, my pleasure.
We're excited to have you. We want to know what is the biggest recommendation when it comes to Halloween candy, of course, outside of don't eat it.
So I would think it would be moderation and timing. I think those are the biggest ones. You know, eating a little bit all day long is far worse for our teeth than having it all at once. So let the kids enjoy Halloween night, let them have that, brush,
Yeah.
and then be moderate after that.
That's actually smart. Instead of stretching it out over like a week of just constantly having sugar, you say just get it over with.
Sure, my mom was a genius when it came to that stuff. She let us make ourselves sick the first night. You really didn't even want it. But the bacteria can only eat the sugar so fast, right? So that exposure is really a limited exposure versus doling it out little by little throughout the weeks.
Okay, that's smart. I like that. What are some tips on how to dilute the sugar that we'll be consuming? Is there a way to do that?
Sure. I mean, you know, have that bottle of water right there while you're drinking it. Dilution is just really adding water. That's what your body does naturally with saliva, right? Keeps things slippery and keeps it diluted. But drinking water, you know, have the kids drink a bunch of water after they gobble down the candy.
Okay, counteract it. Why is it so important? Some people need this reminder to be brushing your teeth, not just one time, but twice a day.
So I think the old joke used to be you brush in the morning for others and you brush at night for yourself, right? So Halloween night, especially with the little guys, go in and brush after them. Brush the surface of their teeth after them. Not going to sleep. At night, your saliva decreases. And so again, we're talking about dilution, less dilution of whatever you've had to eat during the day. And so a good brush at night goes to bed without the bacteria working and making acid. And of course, in the morning when you get up, it's a nice fresh start.
Yeah, right. Anything you may have missed.
Yes, for sure.
Flossing too, of course, because some of that candy really gets stuck.
And everything else, yeah, not just candy, everything else. Flossing is pivotal.
What's your advice on avoiding cavities? Just as we head into other seasons, we have the holidays coming up, a lot of sweet treats, whether it's Halloween or Christmas.
So again, I think moderation, and I think eating those kinds of things in concert with eating your meals. You know, again, if you have dinner, the bacteria in your mouth are already making the acid, which makes cavities. And then if you're eating something else an hour later and then something else an hour later, you're keeping in constant contact, sucking on candies. You know, again, that's duration of time that you have sugar in your mouth. You know, so those are the kind of things you want to avoid. Have your treat, brush, forget about it.
I think I have an idea on what the answer will be to this, but is there a candy that is worse for teeth than others?
Two actually.
Okay.
One, we just mentioned it, the things you suck on. The lollipops, the Jolly Rancher kind of hard candies because it's prolonged contact, right?
Yeah.
And then the other thing would be something really sticky. Your gummies, those kinds of things. And it's still, the candy is stuck to the teeth, prolonged contact.
That's what I was thinking of. Like, I love a milk dud, but man, the energy that it takes to eat one and just how sticky it is and how much you have to work for it, you can just feel that it's not great.
Right, and you can taste it a half an hour later. That's probably a pretty good sign it's still there.
All right, well, Dr. Anna Berik of Newton Dental Associates, thank you so much for coming in and for helping us keep our teeth pretty and clean.
Absolutely.
When we come back on the Remix, the clothing line offering inner joy with activewear, catering to older women. A comedy legend and former Boston resident is coming back for a new tour. David Cross will bring his The End of the Beginning of the End tour to Royale on November 10th. He's had a number of memorable roles, from Tobias Funk to Crane in Kung Fu Panda. WBZ digital producer Riley Rourke spoke to him before his return to Boston about what he loves about the city and more.
Yeah, so do you have something you're looking forward to be back in Boston? Like anything on your list if you have time?
One of my favorite things to do, I mean, obviously there won't be a baseball game to watch, but is just go and get steamers, oysters, and watch the Red Sox game. Boston is always great. I taped a special there at the Wilbur Theater a while ago, but I love coming to Boston. As I said, I lived there for a long time. Always a great show.
You've kind of done it all. I was looking at your resume. It's long. You've kind of covered basically everything you can cover, but do you have like a dream project that you really want to do?
I mean, yes, there was Bob Odenkirk and I wrote a show a couple years ago. It was a limited series. It would be 8 episodes, following a linear story about these two cult leader guru guys based on real archetypes that meet and clash, and it was really, really funny.
Well, tickets are still available for the show. Head to royaleboston.com for more information. As we age, we know it's important to stay active and take care of our bodies, but sometimes those workout clothes can be unflattering or just plain uncomfortable. One local woman is hoping to change that. She is putting the fun in functional clothing.
This is 5th. This is 1st. My kids think I'm crazy to do this, and I just love being off the wall a little bit, or out of the box.
For Susan B. Mary, joy comes from within. The Belmont woman retired several years ago after a long-time career in dance, and she's not planning on slowing down anytime soon.
Oh, I love being busy. I'm crazy about being busy. I take 5 dance classes a week.
But with an active lifestyle, she was frustrated to find there weren't many comfortable options for activewear.
And as I got older, I noticed women wearing their partner's baggy shirts or baggy pants, and I kept thinking, we deserve better.
So she set out to create her own fashion line called Inner Joy.
Only when I started to get older, because parts started to bulge.
Susan wants to emphasize Inner Joy is not just for older women, but for anyone who's looking for comfort first options.
It's really for everybody. I think some women don't like their bodies exactly the way it is. You know, I thought of it for the older women because I really felt we are a forgotten class.
She wants to make sure they're not forgotten by embracing the changes that come with every stage of life.
I feel that we are really a growing generation, and we've got to speak for ourselves, and we really need to feel good about ourselves.
Well, selling aside, Susan's story is a testament to her belief that age really is just a number. You can find the Inner Joy storefront online. When we come back, it is an inclusive show that wants you to see people of all abilities on stage. We talk to the Boston-based Abilities Dance and their new fairy tale performance. It's a Boston-based dance company that wants you to see people of all abilities on the stage. We talked to the Boston-based Abilities Dance about their new fairy tale performance. Well, it is an amazing effort by a Boston-based nonprofit using dance and art as a tool to promote intersectional disability rights. Joining us now, we have the founder and the executive and artistic director of Abilities Dance, Elise Patterson. Elise, thank you for being in studio with us today.
Thank you for having me.
This is really important. Tell us about how Abilities Dance got started.
Yeah. So I founded Abilities 7 years ago now, and it was coming from a desire to have a place for myself to dance as a professional disabled dancer who wasn't finding opportunities in the area, but also to have stories on stage that really reflected the multiple identities that I hold and don't hold. And from that kind of emerged this amazing organization with folks across the country that are contributing both on stage, in classrooms, and beyond to really pursue disability justice through art.
Incredible how this has grown from your idea. Next weekend is the world premiere of Tales from the Crips. So it's a reimagining of fairy tales at the Strand Theater in Dorchester. Just kind of explain the show for us and what people can expect.
Yeah, absolutely. So Tales from the Crips really was inspired by a book, Disfigured, by Amanda Leduc, where it is talking about disability representation in fairy tales. And we're really honored that the author is actually flying in from Toronto to give her an opening for that. But from that came this notion of how do we recenter ourselves in our stories? How do we think about representation from fairy tales? Like what if Sleeping Beauty had long COVID? And what if a non-disabled Mulan was impacted by ableism, and all of these different storylines to really center intersectionality in a way that isn't really done in ballet. And with multiple elements as well, live music, orchestrated by Andrew Cho. There's aerial silks because I'm Little Mermaid, hence the red hair. It is a character choice, and more. That really kind of is this immersive experience for folks.
How important is it for people for people with disabilities rather, to see themselves in these types of roles? And I can imagine as a young child, especially, to be able to see themselves represented must be so, so important.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's important because there's still minimal opportunities to see disability aesthetics in art. In this area and beyond. And so to be able to have that on stage, to see not just disabled artists, but also disabled leadership between myself and Andrew Cho, who's our director of music, and to also for non-disabled folks to see our stories and to be able to learn and to be able to be included in how we are continuing to push this narrative forward, because it takes all of us in this disability justice movement.
So the performances are going to be Friday and Saturday on November 8th and 9th. How can people get tickets to this?
Yeah, they can go on our website, abilitiesdanceboston.org, and they can register for that. And they can also have free sliding scale opportunities, because we want to be able to make this show as accessible as possible, as well as live stream, so that folks that can't come out, whether they be in the Boston area or beyond, be able to participate in this great experience.
That's right. So for people who can't afford it, there's the live stream, and then you're also giving some tickets away as well.
Absolutely. Unlimited. So we just want folks to come out.
Elise Patterson from Abilities Dance. Go out and see the show. It is so important. I can't wait to see you do the silks. It sounds incredible.
I'm incorporating my crutches within the aerial silks so that it is really intertwining how I use not just crutches, but silks and all of these tools to extend my movement range and to be able to highlight the things that I'm able to do with my body. So talented. All right, Elise Patterson, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, the cost of heating your home or apartment this winter, it's an expense that keeps going up. Coming up, the program that could help defer some of those bills and why more of you may be eligible than you think. It is unwelcome news for Eversource customers. The company says it is planning a rate hike of at least 25% for most of its customers. That will cut deep into the pockets of many homeowners. But as Paula Evans shows us, there is a program that could help pay for some of those added costs.
The enrollment period for home energy assistance programs has begun. So tell us about these programs as we head into the winter heating season, and what should be the top priority for people looking to save?
Well, people should get their applications in early. The program starts November 1st and ends April 30th, and we pay a portion of everyone's heating bill, no matter how they heat. All heating sources are covered, including things like wood, propane, pellet stoves, not just gas, electricity.
Right.
And,
what are the requirements to be eligible, though?
To be eligible, it's based on income, household size, and it's very generous. For a family of 4 people who have incomes as high as $94,600 do qualify for home energy, assistance, and they should apply. It's available for people, and they should use it.
Okay. So is there a deadline?
Applications need to be in by April 30th.
Okay.
But you heat with oil or any what we call deliverables, like wood or whatever. You really need to get your application in sooner, because April 30th is the last day of eligibility for the program. So we can't pay for bills that happen after that date.
Right. And it's available for any kind of heat, gas, oil, electric.
Gas, electric, wood, kerosene, propane, all of it.
Are you seeing more demand this year with inflation and
Yes.
people really having tight family budgets? Have you seen your numbers tick up?
Yes, absolutely. They definitely have ticked up. People are feeling the pinch, and having to choose between food and heat is a tough decision for a family.
Yeah. How important is this service that this program provides?
It saves lives. Winters get cold. People die from the cold. People don't turn their heat on and pipes burst because they can't afford to pay the heat. It's really important.
Yeah.
It makes a real difference.
Now, the HEAP website page warns about potential scammers. So tell us about that. What should people be on the lookout for when it comes to scams?
People should be sure that they're working with their local agency.
Yeah.
And that they know who that person is. There's a whole application, a formal application process, or they can apply online through their local agency has a link on their website, or you can go to howtoapply.org/massheap. And that way you know that you're applying for the HEAP program.
Right. And, give us some sample numbers that you've seen. Let's say it's a family of 4 living in an apartment. We've got a lot of triple deckers in this neck of the woods where, they don't retain heat very well. It gets sucked right out the windows. What kind of savings can families experience?
People will be put on, if they're on the utilities, gas, for instance, they'll be put on the low income rate, which is definitely a big savings.
Yeah.
And last year, the average benefit was over $1,000 for the 6-month period. That's significant. That's several deliveries of heating oil.
And that's a lot. As you say, when it gets really cold here in the winter, that can really add up. Is there anything I didn't touch on that you want to be sure to mention for people?
I think it's just so important for people to apply for the help. Elderly people think that, somebody more needy than me should apply. People who work think, I have a job, I'm not going to qualify. That's not true. A family of 4 of $94,000 a year is generous, and people shouldn't rule themselves out. They should apply. And if they, for some reason, don't qualify, the agency that they apply through will probably try to find other ways to help them. So it's very important. People should apply, and apply early so they get the full benefit.
That's great. Laura Meisenhelter, the Executive Director of North Shore Community Action Programs. Thank you so much for the information. Appreciate it.
Thank you for letting us get the word out.
Well, thank you for joining us on the ReMix. We will be back next week for more lifestyle, community, and entertainment news.